Screen and cut workflow webinar. In today's training, we're going to see how to produce a sheet of stickers following different methods. If you have any question in relation with the training, please write them in the chat panel in the left side of your screen. I will answer your question during the Q&A session after the training part. Training duration is approximately 1.5 hours, including the Q&A session. If I don't have enough time to answer all your questions, I will send you feedbacks later on by email. And this online training is also recorded, so I will share with you guys the link to watch the replay video within the next days. And by the way, for those who attended last week's training, you will receive the link for the replay video today. So I hope everybody can hear me well. And without further ado, let's have a closer look to today's agenda. So first, I'm going to bring you through the workflow overview of the print and cut workflow in CALDERA software. I will speak a little bit about Illustrator and how to create a cut path for it to be recognized properly by CALDERA software. Then I will show you how to install both roll-to-roll cutter and flatbed cutters. I will speak about the file manager and how you can manage the cut contour list and how you can manage different types of cut contour within CALDERA software. Then we will see different methods in order to create a sheet of stickers. First, I will use Compose. Okay, so I will use the contour nesting option from Compose, and I will show you useful shortcuts. And then I will go to the print module, and we'll do the same by activating the step repeat directly from the print driver. From this, at this step, I will show you also the print bleed, so how to generate dynamically bleed around a cut shape. I will show you different cutting options accordingly to the cutter I will use for the example. And I will speak a little bit about horizontal and vertical compensation, especially when it comes to vinyl printing. And then I will bring you to a different method. We will do the same but using the Nestomatic function. So we're not going to use Compose any longer. We will do the same with Nestomatic, and we will see that maybe it is better to use this option because it makes it just more dynamic and more automatic. Finally, we will see how to deal with visual cut, which is the interface that will allow you to communicate directly with your roll-to-roll cutter. So at this step, I will show you how to create new cutting tool and how to link a tool with a specific control. And finally, I will show you a quick example about automation and how to use preset and quick print in order to automate your print and cut production. So it's a lot to cover for today's training, so let's start with the presentation. So here's the print and cut workflow as I will work with in today's training. So first I will create some file using Adobe Illustrator software, and I will export a PDF file including specific cut controls. Then we will open this PDF file with the file manager, first step, and then I will show you how to automate the loading, of course, using the hot folder. But we will see from file manager how you can edit the cut contour list and how you can say to CALDERA software, okay, this is cut contour 1, and I want to use it later on as a cut contour, basically. Then I will show you how to create a Compose document. So we will nest different stickers within the same job using Compose and contour nesting. We will drag
Adobe Illustrator je vlastne robíš aj
in our printer driver.
No, Adobe Illustrator je vektorový program. Čiže tam si vieš vlastne vyrobiť tú orezovú linku. Dobre.
And from where we can add some bleed, some cut marks, and get a nice preview about what you are going to produce. And after I will show you also how to use Nestomatic in order to replace the Compose step. Then we will send the job to the spooler. So basically we will track the job, we will see also the nest-o-matic job, and finally we will send the cut file to Visual Cut, which is the very last step. So Visual Cut, once again, it's really dedicated to roll cutter. Okay, you don't need it if you plan to work with a bigger equipment like a flatbed cutter such as Swiss screw print and SO cutters. But I will also show you how to create a driver for such kind of flatbed cutter. Okay, the first step will be to create our print and cut file from Illustrator, for instance. So there are a couple of rules that you have to respect in order to be sure to get the good file into CALDERA software and recognize the proper cut path information. So this is what I'm going to do right now from my Illustrator software. So first, when you create a cut line, the stroke should be at least a 0.1 point line away in order to avoid double cuts issue. And the stroke should be created without any special effects, so you don't need to put any gradient or fancy stuff into your cut contour, otherwise it may be difficult for CALDERA software to recognize it as a cut path. The stroke needs to be centered. I will show you how to do that. And finally, the color used has to be set as a CMYK spot color with a value. Okay. Maybe if you are using a spot color but into RGB or LAB previsualization mode, it will work as well. But usually we prefer to work with a CMYK file. That's why. And if you respect these rules, you will see normally here a nice color icon when opening the file in CALDERA software that is telling you that the cut path is well recognized by the RIP software. So let's have a look to Illustrator. So these are the files that I'm going to work with in today's training. So we have 5 different stickers, and some of them have a different cut path information. So if I take this one, for instance, okay, I can see here in my swatch book that I'm already working with a spot color, so that's fine, because you can see here a small corner. And if I double click on it, we will see here the name of this spot color. So here's the name is cut contour. This is the very regular name that you would like to work with, but I will show you that you can also work with other cut contour names. So as you can see here, it's very important to set this swatch name as a spot color and with a color preview CMYK. Of course, the preview can be whatever you want, it doesn't matter at all. Okay. So if I take another cut path, like this one here, we can see here that we have another previsualization color and we have a different name. Here, this one is case cut. Okay, this is still a spot color, so it's perfect. It will be well recognized by the RIP software later on. And regarding the stroke itself, if I zoom in a little bit and I open my stroke menu, so window, and we should have something called stroke somewhere. Okay, here. And I click on my path, you can see here that we have the weight of my line, and in the middle we have, I would say, the skeleton of my stroke. And this skeleton has to be perfectly aligned in the center of your line. And this is what you can see here. So if you don't have such kind of settings, like something like this, for instance, okay. This one is not a good example. Okay, should be better. If you get this one and you get these settings, for instance, align stroke to inside or outside, this is not going to be a good thing later on in CALDERA software, because the cut line won't be detected by the RIP. So be sure to use here the default align stroke to center. To be sure to make it work. Okay. And here finally we have all the cut line, okay, just different colors and different name. Once again, but still we are working with spot color. This one's named strong, so yeah. So once you be sure to get your cut line properly set, you can export your file as a PDF, for instance. So here I already did it, and I'm going now to open this PDF file from my file manager module. So let's create first a new tab for my image bar. I will name it print and cut, for instance. Okay, and I will file manager to open PDF file that I did save. So here we have demo files, and here's the couple of stickers I would like to use. So here, as you can see, when clicking on one stickers, we can already see some information about the spot colors. So in the first one, we can see we are using the cut contour cut path. In the second one, we have a kiss cut, kiss cut, kiss cut, and finally in the fifth one, we have strong cut line. So let's see what happens if I open everything at once in my image bar, just print and cut. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, my software is actually in French. I'm just going to restart it in order to get it in English. Just one sec. Config. And here we are, back in English. Perfect. So here is the file I did open from File Manager, and here you can see that we have an issue because only the first one has this small icon, color icon on top of the thumbnails. So that means the other one just are no recognized by the RIP software as a cut line. So that would be an issue for us. So what happened? Actually, when using custom cut line, you need to edit the cut control list. So whatever the embedded cut control name, it is possible to manage it as a cut path as long as the spot color name is registered in the cut control list. So this is what I forgot to do. So now I will go back to my RIP software and I will click the setup button from my file manager. I will push edit cut control list from the RIP parameters, and here's the only one by default, which is cut control. So that's why cut control was the only one well detected. So let's create the missing strokes. So it was kiss cut, and be sure to type it exactly as it is from your Illustrator document. Okay. So strong, and here kiss cut like this. Okay. And let's create another one for strong. Okay. So click OK, close, and then we will reopen the missing cut control. Okay. So I will just delete the wrong one. So backspace to delete images from the image bar. Then you can delete it permanently from the trash can if needed. And then I'm going to reopen the other one. And now you should see here the cutter icon. That means each cut control now are well detected by the RIP software, and you will be able to use it as a cut path later on. So that was the first step. So now we will speak a little bit about contour nesting. There is different way to do contour nesting in CALDERA software. There is 3 ways basically. You can use a Compose application. You can do it directly from the print module, and you can also do it from the print module, but by using the Nest-O-Matic features. And this is something I will show you at the end of the training. First, I will focus here on Compose. But before doing so, I have to create a cutter. As you can see here from my image bar, my application bar, sorry, I didn't create any cutter so far. I just have one printer, so it won't be possible for me to send these stickers to my roll-to-roll cutter. So let's create the cutter first. So to do so, I will hit the settings button. I will go here in config, and I can choose where I'm going to create the cutter. So here maybe we can create a brand new tab here from the application bar. Okay, so I will create a new tab named cutters, and in this new tab that will appear here, I can create my new cutter application. So I will click new. I have to select cutter, obviously, and here you can type the name of the cutter. So here for this training, I will use a GraphTech cutter. FC8 600, for instance. And here you will be able to select your cutter. If you didn't create any cutter so far, this list will be empty. So we will need to click on configure. Okay, so I'm just going to delete everything I did so far just to show you. Okay, so if you did nothing so far, you will have an empty list like this. So you will click configure. Here I click new, and from here you can choose the driver you would like to link to this application. So once again, I put the proper name of the driver, which is GraphTech FC8 600. The model will be here. So this is the list of available driver, okay, available cutter that you can drive with CALDERA web software. So here I'm looking for GraphTech, and let's take this one. And the Q folder is actually where you will store all the cut files. This is really important. So here let's create a Q folder in the public folder. Okay, you will find the public folder by clicking the Earth icon. So that means this queue will be shared by default with all other web software from the same local network. So that's why I prefer to create it in my public folder. So here I can hit this button to create the new folder, and I will name it cut files for GraphTech FC8600. Okay, so here's my Q folder. And open it to validate, and here you don't need to push any hostname. Okay, we will see how to configure the cutter later on, but by default, when you are dealing with a roll-to-roll cutter, you don't need to put any hostname information from this field. It is only required when working with specific cutters such as SwissQ print, Zoom cutter, when CALDERA software is able to synchronize the list of tools from the cutter. But here you don't need it. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, yeah. I think the space is not good. Okay, and then we can restart the interface. That will restart the web software basically, because we did create a brand new application. Here you can see our new tab, and we can see our new GraphTech FC8600. And if I double click on it, I will open what we call Visual Cut. So from this interface, you will be able to drive your roll-to-roll cutter. But from now, I'm just going to leave it, and I'll get back to my RIP interface. Okay, so as I told you, now I'm going to drag and drop some files in Compose in order to create such kind of document. Okay. So it's very easy. I'm just going to double click the Compose application. Okay. And from here, I can drag and drop the entities I would like to nest together. But first off, let's create a new page. Okay. In page format, you have to say how you're going to print this sticker sheet. So here we will use this printer, and here let's say I'm going to use roll 44 inches, let's say. Okay. So here what is very important to consider when working with compose is that you cannot put the cut marks for your cutter directly from compose. You will need to do it later on from the print module. So that means you have to plan for extra margins all around in order to place the cut marks later on. So this is what I'm explaining here. As you can see here, in blue you have the roll width from the print module or from compose, which is, for instance, 600 millimeters. And inside you have the roll width from compose, which is 500 millimeters. So in this example, I did like 50 millimeters from each side of extra margin in order to place the cut marks later on, as you can see. So this is, I would say, kind of drawback when working with compose, because you need to plan for this extra margin. You will see later when using Nestomatic, you don't have to plan for extra margin. This will be dynamic and this will be automatically applied from the print module. Yeah, I have a question from the chat module from Adam. He's asking if we will speak about flatbed cutting with double-sided. So I'm not going to speak directly about it. I will speak about flatbed cutting, of course, but I'm not going to address the double-sided workflow. But I will suggest you to see a video that we did from our YouTube channel, which is explaining this very well. So I will speak about this later on. I will show this at the end of the training. No worries. So yeah, let's go back to compose. So it's very important to plan for extra margin, as I told you. So here, if I would like to print something on my roll 44 inches from my print module, okay, let's have a look. Okay. I know that it will be like 1 meter and 100 millimeters width. So in this situation, it will be nice to plan for extra margin. So I will actually do my compose document based on, for instance, 900 millimeters. Okay, this way I'll be sure to put my cut marks all around. So once you did that, you can drag and drop the stickers you would like to nest together. So in this situation, I will take everything I want, and I would like to place 5 copies of each one. So to do so, you can press the Control key of your keyboard, and then you can drag and drop it in Compose. Then you can release the click button, and then CALDERA will ask you how many copies you would like for each one. So let's say 5 copies for each one. Okay, and then finally you can see that everything is randomly placed into the document, so that's not good. I really want to get something well organized. So to do so, I will use the nesting options I can see here. So we have different options. You could do a regular nesting by using this nesting button. So this will just nest everything by adjusting the height of the document. And here, do not hesitate to push a margin in between each entity. So let's put 3 millimeters, for instance, and then let's nest everything. Then you will get like this. You know what? I will push a little bit more because my roll is large enough. Okay, so here I just added more content. So to update my nesting, just press again the nesting button, and here we are. So here I could create a new composite document in my image bar just by clicking the create button. That's it. But in this situation, I really want to do a contour nesting in order to save more media. So what is contour nesting is actually the possibility to nest everything based on the contour of each document, as you can see here. And this will prevent you to keep all this white area around each entity. So to do so, we will use here the contour nesting feature, which is the two triangular shapes overlapping each other, and then we can do again the nesting. And here, as you can see, I saved a lot of media already, and I have something which is way more optimized. You can choose the rotation that you would like to apply in order to save more or less substrates. And you can also plan for maybe a smaller margin if needed. Be sure to renest everything each time.
Ktoré to bolo to hlavčítko, čo ich tak bez tých
So
rámčikov?
then I can create it.
Bez tých rámčikov, čo to spravil?
No to je, to máš tu. Tuto, keď klikneš, tak keď tam máš vlastne aktivovaný ten nožiček,
No.
že tam máš vlastne tú horizontovú linku, tak toto vlastne zapínaš contour nesting.
Keď mám biele plochy a nejaké, vieš, loga v strede, tak aby som to mohol...
No však ale keď máš vlastne, dajme tomu, že kružky, vieš, dávaš na kružky, nedáš vlastne nejaké obdĺžničky a máš tam biely okraj, tak toto vlastne vyrezávaš. A musíš si aktivovať tu na tento contour nesting, vtedy sa ti to začne nestiť a potom tu si vlastne vyberáš, ako Caldera vie nestovať iba o 90 stupňov, nevie napríklad 45 alebo proste nevie nejaký random, ale vie vlastne iba 90 a ešte tu si ešte môžeš dať, že či to chceš iba že zakázať, alebo ešte môžeš 180. Že iba dole.
Ale ešte dneska margin je potom medzera medzi nimi, hej?
Áno, áno. Ale to je teraz v prípade, vlastne, teraz tu máš vlastne, keď tam máš 2 mm, tak to máš vlastne od tej kontúry po tú kontúru. Čiže teraz je tam bude trošku možno potom problém, že ty tam ešte musíš narvať niekde, vieš, tu ukázať teraz kamerátky, vieš. Sice no teraz, no v tomto prípade asi ne, ale kamerátky sa potom dajú ešte ručne pridávať túto.
A jakým spôsobom?
Uvidíš.
And here you can see the difference between contour nesting and regular nesting. So this is a very small job, but you can imagine using bigger projects, how big can be the benefit, because you can save a lot of substrate, of course. So this is the document I'm going to use, okay? So if you like to print this one, simply drag and drop it in your printer. So here will be my show color 4600 with a roll 44 inches as I planned to do previously. Here I'm going to use a vinyl ICC profile, and let's keep for now a rig action. So now it's time to open the layout options. Okay. So it is quite interesting because you can see that already CALDERA has detected that we have some cut line within the document, and then it just add some marks for the only cutter I did set up so far, which is my GraphTech FC 8600. Let's put it bigger like this. Okay. So nothing really special to say in the main tab. I just want to center everything in my roll 44 inches, like this. Okay. Here, as you can see, I can print everything at the 1:1 scale, so that's perfect. That just means that I have enough room all around to push my cut marks. Okay. If I didn't plan for enough room from Compose, I would not be able to print everything at the 1:1 scale because of the marks, but here it looks perfect. Then what we can do is adding some bleed. So the print module allows you to add bleed even if the documents come from the Compose applications. So this is what I'm going to do right now. So here's the sticker, and here's different computation regarding different methods of bleed. So we have duplication mode and a mirror mode. And as you can see here, duplication mode will simply duplicate the very last pixel, sticking my cut line to a specific value outside the cut shapes, and the mirror mode will really mirror the inside pixels of the cut line to the outside. So For such kind of stickers, I could use both methods. I think it's enough. The purpose is just to avoid any white offset after cutting if the cutter is not 100% accurate or calibrated. So here, both method works, but in more generally speaking, I would suggest you to use the mirror mode when it comes to photographic stuff, and when it comes to more vectorial and simple shapes or simple content with always the same color surrounding the cut line, I will suggest you to use duplication mode. So to activate some bleed, you can go in marks, and here we have a bleed button. So I can activate the feature, and I can click plus to see more options. So we can see here the both methods, so which are duplication or mirror. Here I will use duplication, and then you can push the size of the bleed you would like to. So here, let's put 3 millimeters.
Že ona rozšíri ten obrazok?
Or 2 millimeters. Okay.
Tam si vlastně můžeš dogenerovat.
And then, if you zoom in your document, of course this is the preview mode, so that's why it's a little bit pixelized, but you can see here that we have a new purple area surrounding the cut shapes. If I deactivate it, we can see that it disappeared. This is just a preview information that is telling you that the bleed will be well applied to the current shapes. So that's perfect. You maybe saw that we have a third method actually, which is the mask method. So let me show you what is mask method. To do so, I'm going to open a new file, which is this one. We have a cut control in the file, as you can see. Okay. So this is the file in the preview mode. You can see that we have a kind of poster, and inside the poster I have some cut line. So now if I drag and drop this job into my printer, we can see that if I use the mask method, it will actually keep inside pixel of the poster, as you can see here. And if I enlarge this value, it will just enlarge what is actually in my poster. You can see here. This is a true bleed, I would say. So if you are working with file including already some bleed, because you are used to work like this from Illustrator or Photoshop, I suggest you to use the mask, and CALDERA will honor the pixels inside the document. It will not create pixels from scratch. It will really print what you would like to. So this is the difference between mask, duplication, and mirror. Here, because I'm using stickers without any bleed, as you can see, I have to create it from scratch, so the mask won't work at all. I need to duplicate or mirror existing pixels. Okay, let's drag and drop back my entity. Okay, here the size is too big, obviously. Let's put back 2 millimeters in duplication. And here we're good. Okay, so the next step would be to go in step and repeat. There's nothing really special to do here because I already did a step and repeat from compose document, so it will be activated by default. But you can use a step and repeat if you plan, for instance, to do several copies of the same stickers, like this, for instance. I have one single sticker in my print module, and then I can use the control step and repeat and push a specific amount of copies and a specific margin, and that's it. But here you will print individual stickers, of course. It's not a composite document as I would like to do. Yeah, okay, let's put one copy, and that's it. Okay, here we have some information already about cut control which are inside the file. So as expected, I can see my cut control, kiss cut, and strong strokes. We can click on the cutting tab now in order to select the cutter you would like to use. Here, by default, CALDERA has selected my only cutters installed so far, but if you have several cutters, you'll be able to choose here from the list. So now I will show you how to create a flatbed driver cutter. This is much more easier than creating a roll-to-roll cutter driver because you don't need to create such kind of application as we saw previously. What you're going to do is just to create a cut file that will be transferred into an input folder. Okay, you are not going to drive directly the flatbed cutter with the CALDERA software. It's not possible. Only with smaller devices. So to create your flatbed cutter driver, you will simply click here the plus button from the cutter list. Then you can click new, exactly as we did previously, and you can push the name. So let's say flatbed cutter. Let's select a name. So here, basically, I could use something like Aristo or Espo Kongsberg. Yeah, let's put the Aristo one. Once again, you have to create a queue. So here, it would be very smart to put it in the public folder because you're pretty sure that the cut controller needs to access this specific folder in order to get the cut file and in order to cut something. Or you can create the cut folder directly on the cutter controller, and then you can mount this folder from your Linux station or your macOS station. So here, once again, I will create it in public, and I will name it like this. I will name it cut files for Aristo or for flatbed cutter. Open, and that's it. It's really easy. You don't have here in this situation no hostname. Once again, hostname is only required for the zoomed cutters. Here it's okay, and okay. So now you can switch between different cutters. As you can see, we have our roll-to-roll cutter and we have our flatbed cutter. You can see that marks are obviously different. These are marks basically used for flatbed cutter, and these are the marks especially made for my GraphTech roll-to-roll cutter. Okay, so when it comes to flatbed cutters or even roll-to-roll, we have a feature that is quite nice since the version 13 of CALDERA software, which is the mirroring features. So here I have a small video to show you to explain you the differences between the different methods. So we have currently 4 different new methods, which are sublimation mode. We have 2 methods, and black light mode, 2 methods, and legacy mode is just mirroring everything. So what is it made for? It's really easy. So if I select the first one, like the sublimation mode, transfer and cut, it would mean that you will basically print something with the cut marks. Okay, come back here. So we are printing something in the transfer paper. So this is specifically for sublimation and textile purposes. Okay. We can see here that both design and cut marks are mirrored, okay? Why? Because we're going to transfer this paper onto the fabric, okay? And then we will get everything back in place before cutting. So that means the cut file won't be mirrored at all, okay? It has to be in the original orientation as well. So this is the sublimation mode, transfer then cut. Then we have another one which is cut then transfer. So that's a little bit different because you can see that Actually, no, only the design has been mirrored. The cut marks stays in place. This is very useful if you plan to cut the paper directly before transferring it. So then the paper will be removed, and then you will be able to transfer this paper directly on the pre-cut fabric, as you can see. So this is the second mode, sublimation mode, cut then transfer. If you have any doubt of what method is doing what, I really suggest you to watch our product presentation of Rip Sorter version 13. Everything is well explained. Now we have other features regarding backlights, and this may be more interesting for you. So if you plan to print and cut something on a transparent media, this is really useful. So basically here I have maybe a transparent PMMA sheet, and we have printed on top of a mirror, a design, which is mirrored, as well as the cut marks. Why? Because you will flip this onto your flatbed cutter before cutting. So that means the cut file is not mirrored at all. And this is to get something, to get a print behind the glass, actually, to get kind of reflection effect and a cool bright effect on top of your substrate. And we have finally the fourth method, which is backlit as well, but this time is cut back. So you have a transparent media, you can see that the design is mirrored, but the cut marks are not mirrored. So that means you will detect the cut mark, and then the cut file is mirrored. So all depends on your type of applications. But here you can choose from these different actions from this little menu. So here my situation is very basic stickers, print and cut production. So I just select no mirroring. So basically I will not mirror anything. Then we can plan for adding registration marks. As you can see here, we have 8 registration marks. By default, these are the marks here. If you plan to put automatic registration marks, it's quite nice because you will put marks inside the document. I don't know if it's visible here on this document because it's maybe too small. Let me check if we put smaller step. Yeah, my document is too small actually to see it. But what it does, it will put internal registration marks in order to save a little bit more media around the document. So if you plan to do so, just deactivate age registration marks and add automatic registration marks. Okay. Of course, if you plan to work with a GraphTech or roll-to-roll cutter, this is not possible. You will have to deal with only age registration marks. As you can see, the features is not available. Then we can plan to add or not some barcodes. It's up to you. If you have specific equipment in order to read the cut informations, that's always a good thing. If not, you just deactivate it. Then we have a small tool icon here, just next to the cutter type. If you click on it, you have more options regarding cut placement. So if you use a custom margin like this, by default everything is located to this, according to this value, okay? But I can change this for 5 millimeters, for instance. Click apply. And as you can see now, I have cut marks which are closer to my my design to print, basically. So that's another good thing if you plan to save a little bit more margins around your document. Okay, let's put the default value, which was around 15. Apply, and that's it. You can also plan for different edge marks here. I mean, by default, the 4 sides are selected, but maybe you only want edge marks on left and right side. Okay, so I will deactivate bottom and top. Apply, and here I only have right side marks. It's really up to you, but think about it. You have the tools icon here, just next to your cutter. And finally, we can activate, deactivate some barcodes. We can print everything around. It's really up to you. Let's keep the default settings. I'm fine with that. And let's hit OK to validate. Okay, so here as you can see, I'm back with my GraphTech SE 8600. So now I can close this. Make sure that I will cut everything. Okay, this is really important. Make sure to cut your cut line, enabled, enabled, and enabled. And the print is not activated, of course. I don't want to print my cut control. Okay, so here, for instance, I don't want to print this green cut control. I just want to cut it. So you can decide here what you're going to do from this list. For instance, if I don't want to cut my cut control, I can click the cutter icon. This will deactivate the cut. And if I just want to print the cut line, I can click my printer that I will need. I will print the cutter, but I don't going to cut it. Doesn't really make sense, but it's just for you to know what these buttons are made for. Here I will get back to my previous settings. I would like to cut, and I don't want to print like this. Okay. So I think we're fine with this layout. I can click close, and I can repeat. So just hit the print button, and then I can move to my spooler to see what happened. Oh yeah, by the way. Okay. That's not a big deal, just have an issue with the permissions. Just 1 sec.
Ty nemáš také číslo? Najrychle voluješ, daj ti tyto licenci.
Ty jsi jako perník? Daj ti mi perník, vynové se to.
Ubrázky jako věnu. No. Myslím, že ještě než ty. Nějaké kontakty tam jsou.
Odkryť tam točí perníky.
Dubravka, takže se aplikovali.
Hrozně dobrý.
Okay, I'm just going to have an issue with my computer currently with permissions and just have to reopen everything from another folder.
Ty můžeš taky perníky? Normálně perníky, ne? Já jem už celý čas, takže...
Ty jsi Dubravka.
Ano, Petr žál, to víš.
No tak to.
Pán nezná.
I think I have to redo everything from scratch. Compose.
A nič nenapísali?
Čo? Napísali.
Ten copies.
Pozeraj. Ale že nenájdem tú linku.
A na 1000 nemají nějaké školení?
Na 1000 máš kartičku.
Za 1000.
Nebo já na to myslím.
Tu aplikaci si mi nedali.
Že hovoríš, na to myslím.
Ježišmarja. We have a question from the chat. We have a question from Claudio. He's asking if it's possible to give a different color to the registration mark than black. For example, white for transparent material. I think we have a feature like this. Let me check. From the flatbed cutter, yeah, we have a background possibility actually. First off, you can set some background color around your cut marks here, like this. If you are planning to print a non-white material or stuff like this, you can plan for doing a background color here. Or I think if you are using white, here my cutter is not using white, but normally you can plan to print white under your under on top of your cut marks. But this is something I have to test with a white driver. I mean with a driver that is using the white special ink. Yeah, but I will get back to you, Claudio, with this information by mail later on. But I'm pretty sure we have something that is allowing to do so. So let's put back this document, okay, and now it's time to export it with my GraphTech, and now I will simply rip it. Here we go. Okay, so here's the spooler. Just going to remove this. Okay, so my cut file just arrived. It is rippling right now, so it is in the blue part. Okay, now I have the file that is ready to be printed, and it's also ready to be cut. The cut file will be created straight after the ripping process. If the file is still ripping, it won't be possible for you to reach the cut file, because the cut file is created at the very last step of the ripping process. But here, because we have a cut file that is linked to this job, we have here down below a cut button that is available. So if I click cut, I will open directly the Visual Cut interface that I did create previously from my application bar. Once again, this is really for roll-to-roll cutter like GraphTech, Suma, Mimaki, and stuff like this. Here we can see that we have selected by default the cut file that is linked to this print job from the list. It's pretty nice to use the spooler because then you will select directly the corresponding cut file. Then here we can see the path of my queue folder, cut file queue folder. And here's the connection type. For this cutter, we have the choice between USB and raw IP. If this is a IP connections, you will select the raw IP and then you will push here the IP address of the cutter. Very, very simple. If it's not detected the cutter, you can quit and reopen Visual Cut, and normally this will update the status and the cutter should be detected. Here in my situation, I'm not connected to any cutter while I'm delivering this training, so that's why it's still connecting. Then we have some options regarding the positioning. Here, be sure to select single with marks because we are working in the print and cut environment, and I really want to honor the marks in order to align my cutting to my print job. But if you don't care about print and cut and you are just going to do some cutting, you can go for none, basically. But this doesn't really make sense to use CALDERA Rip for doing such kind of application. You prefer to use it for print and cut, so I think you will mostly use single with marks. Then we have shell sorting. So this is how the cutter is going to execute each cutting tasks. So I suggest you to use step and repeat. This will make the cut process a little bit faster. Okay, it will avoid some kind of go and back movement from the cutter. Okay, and then here we have the list of the tool that you can create. So by default, you will have only one default tool that will be used to cut your 3 cut contour. Kiss cut, cut contour, and strong. As you can see here, if I click default, everything is selected. In my situation, it could be interesting to set up different kind of control and different kind of tools. So it's really easy. Here in this situation, maybe I would like to create a strong tool that is linked to my strong cut contour. So to do so, we can click on create a tool, and here is the tool itself that will be used to cut a specific shape. So in my situation, it will be strong. Here you can either choose the conditions from the cutter itself, or you can create the tool from scratch from CALDERA software. So because I'm not working with a physical cutter here, I'm not going to use any conditions. So I will activate everything here, and I will rather use such kind of information. So here's the speed. You can push a different force. Of course, do not hesitate to do some test cut to see if the force is enough or not. Acceleration, etc. Then I can choose a different previsualization color, like yellow for instance, and I can click OK. So now in the preview, we can see here by playing with the opacity, we can see that all stickers, including a strong cut path, will be cut with my strong tool here. And then we can do the same with the other cut path, like this cut. Be sure to name it exactly as it is here in the cut contour list. Here I can maybe push another speed whatsoever, and then another color for preview. Okay, so here I have one strong tool that will cut a strong cut line, another one for piece cut, and the other one that I didn't apply will be managed by the default tool, obviously. So as you can see, it's very easy to synchronize cut contour information from File Manager or even from Illustrator to a specific tool from your CALDERA software. What we could do is also with such kind of application is to use the trim box of the stickers. I'm going to show you how. Here I will click this. I will quit this for the moment, and then I will get back to my image bar. For instance, maybe you would like to cut the shape here of your stickers, but all around you would like to use the trim box of the PDF file in order to create a cut frame, basically. So to do so, it's really easy actually. Just open your printer, select the sticker you would like to process. Be sure to use the proper color configuration. Go in the layouts, choose your formats. Here, maybe I will switch for something smaller. Okay. And here in step and repeats, I'm not going to use the contour any longer. I will use the standard mode. And I will say, okay, 50 copy, like this. Okay. Here I don't need any bleed. I will set up some 3mm margin. Okay. And then here in the cutter, I will say to CALDERA rip, I'm not going to use only the cut contour. I would like to use all the contours, including the PDF trim box. Okay? As you can see, by default, when working with PDF, you should see a PDF trim box. And the PDF trim box is, if I take the same example, here is my PDF trim box. Okay, this is the side of the artboard from Illustrator, basically. So I can use this as additional cut contour. So here I will activate the cut for the PDF trim box basically. So I will click my scissor, and I will also activate the cut for the keys cut obviously, but I don't want to print either the PDF trim box or the keys cut, like this. Then feel free to choose your cutter. Here I will stay with the FC 8600. I think we're fine. Then we can close this and I can read it. Okay, so the job has been read. I can select it and then I can click cut to see what happened. So it's nice. We have a double cut. We have the trim box, and inside we have the sticker itself. So what we could do here is set up a brand new tool. So here I know that I have a keys cut. I already created a tool previously. So this will be, for instance, if I edit my tool, this would be maybe something like how to say, yeah, a keys cut method basically. I'm just going to cut on the vinyl. And for the other one, for the PDF trim box, I can create a new tool, which is PDF trim box. But this time, I don't want to use a solid line as I did for the keys cut. Maybe I would like to use up and down methods, as you can see here, a dashed method, in order to be able to tear out each stickers after processing. And here, basically with this cutter, I will use a very strong force in order to be sure that my blade is going through my substrate. And then I will click OK. And I will start, obviously, with my keys cut, and then I will finish the process with my PDF trim box. So to do so, we can reorganize the order of machining. So we can take the PDF trim box and put it first in the list, and then we will have the keys cut just after. Oh, sorry, the opposite. First the keys cut, and then the PDF trim box. That's it.
Jak ti vyvrátilo už oči.
Zaujímavý
Okay,
hlas.
now I will shoot
Ale mne to
using
vždy
the
vadí,
rest of my
že zavriem oči na chvíľku a
Let's close this. For now, I did use compose in order to make a composite document, but I prefer to work with Nestomatic because it's just more dynamic and I don't have to care about extra room to put my cut marks later on. I can do everything from the print module. So to do so, simply here choose Nest as action. Then you can go in your cutting. Here I would like to do control nesting, okay. So I will go back there, and I don't want to cut my trim box, so just cut control. Okay. And here you can plan for a specific amount of copy. So it will be sent to Nestomatic basically. So you can't see it right now, you will see it later from the spooler. Let's put it a little bit bigger, like this. Okay, we have the cut marks, we have everything we need. We can switch maybe for my flatbed cutter. Okay. And now very nice. Okay. So I can click print. I can drag and drop another file. Make it maybe a little bit bigger. And this time I would like to print 2 copies. Click print, and let's do a last one, a little bit smaller, and I would like to print 10 copies. And then I click print. So now if I go back to my spooler, we can see we have 3 different files with a specific amount of copies. Okay, this black square are actually the number of copies for each one. Okay, so here it was 10 copies. Here we had 2 copies, and the first one was 10 copies as well. So we have also now an auto-nest file that has been created. And as you can see, all the files are nested together into this auto-nest file. So here maybe I think the margin was a little bit too big. So that's why here I have a lot of white in between. But it's really up to you, or you can even change this by going in settings, Nestomatic, and here you can change the spacing basically. So here will be 3 millimeters for instance, click OK, and then it will reorganize everything. And of course, you will see here the cut marks. It's quite hard to see in the preview because it's a very low resolution preview. But you can see here small dots. So that means we have the cut marks all around the auto-nest. So that's quite nice. Because now, if I add more file, this will be added to my current document. And it will grow and grow again until I decide to print it. And when I will print it, it will release my cut file that I can submit to my cutter, for instance. Yeah, and one small thing about stickers application is really oriented for stickers. So we have a feature from Easy Media, okay, which is a color management module from CALDERA software. Here we have Easy Media. Here on the application bar, you can actually plan for horizontal and vertical print compensation, especially with vinyl substrate. When you are working on latex printer or solvent printer, you know that there is a huge heating system that maybe can stretch the substrate a little bit, and to avoid it or to compensate it, you can use horizontal and vertical print compensation from Easy Media. Let me show you. If I select my my media from my Epson printer, for instance, it takes a little bit of time. Okay. Here's the vinyl media.
No shit.
If I go back here, we can. Yeah, we can edit it basically. Okay, come back. So when you are into your substrates, you can click edit. And here you can go in parameters and you can apply compensation to this specific substrate. So how to do that is very easy. You just have to print basically a square that is 1 by 1 meter. And then after printing, you have to measure it. And you will see if there is a difference of length or sizes. So you will push here the expected length, which is 1000 millimeters, and basically maybe you have just measure 995, so we will do an adjustment of plus 0.5%, okay, and it will do it dynamically each time you are using this specific color profile. This will restart the driver, but now each time I'm working with this media, it will apply this compensation in order to be sure to print something which is very close to your initial scale. So that's a little plus for stickers application, of course. Yeah. So now let's let's pick finally about print and cut automation. So as any other module from CALDERA web software or other application, I would say, it's really easy to automate it using quick print or presets. And we will see that you can also use hot folder and presets in order to automate a full print and cut workflow. So let me show you how to do that.
Dobra, zajtra. Ten divák.
So first, what you need is a preset, is a print configuration. So here I'm going to create it from scratch very fastly. Okay.
Asi to atmosféru.
Let's say here roll 36 inches. And you have to print each time like 100 copy of the same stickers. This print, okay. Let's put less margin. I will activate the copper cutter, of course. Okay.
A včera to byl taky ten interkom malinký, ale že to byl taky ten...
To bylo mi dal.
Okay.
No, to jsme stlačili včera.
And now I can send this configuration to a preset. So you can click here the floppy icon on the main tab, and you can name your preset. So here will be
Tajný olívíš popla.
So now that you have your presets, you choose the print module, and you can select a different entity to print with the same preset. You can do a right click, and then you can set it directly to your printer and to the preset you just created before. And this will go straight to the spooler and to the printer if you decided to print it straight away. Here we can see that jobs are arriving very fast. That was my first layout, the second one, and the third one. And if needed, you can also link this preset to a hot folder in order to automate even more your print and cut production. So here I'm going to create a hot folder in my public folder. Really easy, just have to go in special and click hot folder. Here I already have a hot folder, I will create a new one. I will name it print and cut stickers, and I will send it to my preset directly, okay? So I can select here my stickers 100 times, okay, and that's it. And the tab is basically where you're going to open the file from the hot folder. So here I will keep print and cut. Okay, so all the file will be located here, and the directory is the hot folder itself. So here I'm going to create a new one from my public folder, and I will name it stickers hot folder. Okay. Filter is nice if you would like to sort the file that you would like to print. So could be maybe only PDF file or only JPEG. Doesn't really make sense when it comes to print and cut application, but you can put here like PDF and it will only open PDF file to this hot folder. And here I can click OK to validate. And now what I can do is to drag and drop a couple of files into this hot folder, which is in somewhere in the public. Here, okay. Just going to check something before. Yeah, RIP. Okay. And now I'm going to drag and drop a couple of files in it. that's it. So files are arriving in my hot folder. They will be automatically open here. Sorry, in my image tab. So that was the first one. Second one. And normally, if I go straight to my spooler, we can see that the production already starts. Yeah. Files are arriving one after the other, and I'm ready to read it. So here, obviously, I think it was an issue in my preset because I have only one copy. I asked normally like 100 copy, let me check.
Cookie.
Yeah, there is actually one copy in my preset, so that's why. And now I will print 100 copy. Yeah, so that's why, just to show you how easy it is to automate production, even when it comes to print and cut application. So that's it for today's training. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to write them in the chat panel. I'm still available for 15 minutes.
Adam tam pípal, furt tam někdo pípal. Tomu někdo hodil čas do drum.
Že někdo se odpája stále.
Ne, to jsem pochopil.
Že jak zapnu počítač.
Určitě jsem ho pýtal, že ako sa rýpuje v Linuxe?
Alebo free commander ešte.
Keď sa niekto niečo
Total
pýta,
Commander.
má niekto nejaké otázky na Adama?